everybody. Thanks for watching Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News. I'm David Zere. Thank you so much for joining us. Download the Real America's Voice News app today. Watch the show. Watch the network anywhere. And I had an amazing week on the ground with the Department of Energy, Department of War, 6,000-mile journey from Andrews Air Force Base to March Air Force Base in California. We picked up a nuclear reactor. We took the world's first flight transporting a nuclear reactor by airplane on a C-17. We landed at Hill Air Force Base in Utah, where they're going to test this thing. And then I was at Fort Bragg covering Donald Trump and the First Lady, Melania Trump, congratulating our troops for this most sophisticated raid, the largest helicopter raid in history in Venezuela, capturing Nicolas Maduro. I have stuff on that as well for you today. But I want to get, and I also have Peter Schweitzer, the author of The Invisible Coup. Jam-packed show. But first, I have Rick Durkee. He's an RICP. He's the Coastal Financial Planning Group founder, a retired income certified professional. Welcome to the show.
Hey, David.
Thanks for joining us today.
Congratulations on all your travels there, man. You're going all over the place, haven't you?
Yeah, we are. It's an historic time, and Trump's really pushing the pedal to the metal out there, trying to get weapon systems delivered to our troops at speed and scale, but also on the economy, right? So the OBB passed. I was at the White House for that signing. It was an amazing day. Great things. No tax on tips, overtime. He campaigned on it. No tax on Social Security. But there's some caveats there on the Social Security side, right?
Yeah, there is.
Tell us about it.
There is. Well, that one big, beautiful bill act said that there wasn't going to be any taxes anymore on Social Security for 65 and older. It ends up it's means tested. That's a simple way of saying if you make a lot in retirement, you're going to get less of a tax credit on that particular OBBBA. If you're 65 and older, that's first qualification. Second qualification is that you have under 150,000 in total income, and then you get the full break. Okay. Then from 150K to 250K, you get less, okay? And then over 250K, you get nothing. But that's means testing.
So let's say you're in that 150 and under category. How much more money will you put in your pocket every year?
About $6,000 per individual.
That's a lot of money.
A couple's going to do 12. Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
It is.
For someone on a fixed income.
Sure it is.
But again, as it goes up, you're getting less.
Yeah, as you go up.
What's the minimum somebody can get? As a percentage, how much does it drop?
Well, it drops down, down to zero. Honestly, after 250,000, it's zero. So it's that in between 150 and 250 of income, and that's middle America retiree.
It's middle America. Right? So say your kids still live with you, and your daughter's a waitress, and the husband is working overtime. They're going to benefit from the no tax on tips and overtime. And then you combine it with that. And so you might be talking like 15, 20,000 extra in disposable income for a household, potentially.
That could be big. Yes, maybe. Definitely.
And that could be everything, especially with inflation coming down. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about some of the other things. I was with Scott Bessent in Minneapolis. We covered the Economic Club. His reporting on the economy, growing at like 5.5% roughly. Core inflation is down. But we went to a Catholic school with him, and he was talking about young people starting to invest at a young age and teaching them fiscal responsibility. How important is that? And how does a young person do it?
Yeah, the fiscal responsibility, it's important, along with values and everything for our young people. I was super impressed. I played hockey up in St. Paul, right next door to Minneapolis, and the kids went out there at center ice before we played and they prayed. I mean, there is a good core of young people in our country, but they don't know. They haven't been taught. What do I do to save? It's a tough world to live in right now. If they're paying off student loans and they're, living at home, maybe still, they can't save that money for that down payment.
It's a lot of distractions too. Sneakers, phones, spring break, right?
Unbelievable. I mean, we don't focus on those things. We try not to. But the thing that I really want to put out there to our young people is this. I mean, we live in a world that's very complex right now. It's a global economy. But here in the US of A, we're still a land of opportunity. I mean, I've got
stories. So you still believe that?
Absolutely. I've got stories of people that are business owners that I've helped build their practices and build their retirement income plans that started with nothing.
So you got the immigrant analogy to say the kid here who may not appreciate money. Tell us about it.
Yeah, right. So I had a guy that came to my way. He was about 70 at that time. He lied to me, told me he was older than that or younger than that because he wanted to stay young. But his thing is he came to this country from Greece with no money whatsoever.
Yeah.
Him and his wife started working together. They had one son. They took every penny that his wife earned at Procter & Gamble, and they bought Procter & Gamble stock with her earnings, worth well over $8 million when he passed. But the thing about it is he just saved a little bit at a time. So out to the young people, it starts with saving first. And this immigrant, his name was Ernie, he told me, he said, Rick, he says in his Greek brogue, he says, you have to let your money do the work for you. So someday you don't have to work for.
So that's the American story. You know, my great grandparents came from Italy. That's, but I don't know if those lessons are being taught anymore in school, civics, economics, right? So how do you get that back to our kids?
Yeah, it's how I'm doing it right now. We have to pass on the stories of people from generations before us that were successful, and let the young people know that opportunity is with them today.
Sure.
Just start saving a little bit and start in a Roth IRA.
Right. And you could, but Besson was saying it's not that hard, right? You just got to do a little research and start putting something away.
Yeah.
The Trump accounts, you were saying, go on.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to say, you can contact a major custodian, a Fidelity or a Schwab or something like that, and just tell them, I want to set up a retail account.
Sure.
I want to start making my contributions into my own Roth IRA, and it's an easy setup.
All right, all our parents out there, go sit down with your kids, tell them to get out of your house. Call Fidelity or somewhere, or call Durkee, right?
Yeah,
Durkee, where can people find your company?
People can find me online at cfpgroup.biz. That stands for Coastal Financial Planning Group.biz.
Yeah.
Yep.
Start it now because you're going to regret it later, right? And people who get a late start, by the time you buy a house today, you could be 40 years old. And it's late to start saving at 40. It comes quick.
Compound interest. That's what it's all about. Start small, build it up.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And so tell us about, we have about 2.5 minutes left. Tell us a little bit more about what you do and who's your target and, target audience and how can you help them?
Yeah, well, I'm at this point right now in my career where I'm thinking about retirement myself. So I really want to help those people that want and need my help at this point in their retirement planning. So I have helped people, business owners under 30 that sell their businesses. I've helped people 55 and older that want to do their pre-retirement planning. And most of my client base now is in their 70s and 80s. And so my big mission right now, David, is to help the surviving spouse. And there's some tax planning that you got to do now with your opportunities that you have to help that surviving spouse.
You got to do it now. I had 3 kids at 23, so we were always behind the 8 ball in a way, and we've had a lot of successes, and we paid for 72 years of Catholic school and college for our kids so far. I do have a few organs left for sale if anybody's interested out there, but. It's hard, and it's harder today, but the American dream is still alive, and you got to save, and you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, you do. And the opportunities there, take your ideas, and roll with them. The first step is always to take action on any savings plan or anything like that. So you don't have to meet with a financial professional right away. Like I said, go online. Everybody's online nowadays, and check out one of the major custodians and see what it takes to set up a retail savings account.
Where again can people follow you and find you?
Okay, cfpgroup.biz is the website. If you feel like making a phone call, we're 843-735-5065.
Trump accounts, big deal if you're born between 25 and 28, right?
Yeah,
that could be worth a lot of money by the time you're in your 30s, right?
Yeah,
a couple $100,000.
It could be for grandparents to save. I want to say one other thing for us in our generations of the baby boom generation right now, for our kids and grandkids, the easiest way to set up something for the benefit of your young grandchildren is to set up life insurance on yourself.
My kids benefited from Columbia 529 funds. It wasn't a lot. It was 15 grand, 20 grand, but man, does that help. Right?
Yeah, for college savings plans, those work too.
All right, everybody. Rick Durkee from Coastal Financial Planning Group. He's the founder, retirement income certified professional. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. It was fun.
Thank you, David.
All right, super. We'll be right back. I got great stuff ahead. As countries have walked away in the past few years from the U.S. dollar, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, diversify into gold, into birch gold. And for over 5,000 years, gold has withstood inflation, geopolitical turmoil, and stock market crashes. And the great news is you can still get it. In fact, you can own gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account. Birch Gold makes it easy to convert your IRA or 401k into an IRA in precious metals. And all you got to do is text the word America to 989898 to claim your free info kit on gold. With 20 years experience converting IRAs and 401ks into precious metal IRAs, Birch Gold can help you protect yourself with gold today by texting the word America to 989898 with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of happy customers and countless 5-star reviews. Secure your future with gold. Start today with a free info kit. Again, there's no obligation. Check it out. Make the request. Just text the word America to 989898. We'll be back with more Breaking Point right after this.
From Real America's Music, the label that brought you Anthem of the Free, The Boss, and Somali Waltz, comes a brand new anthem built for a distrustful age. Truth Bomb by the Truth Bombers. Talks about distrust of institutions, media manipulation, shifting government narratives, big tech censorship, cancel culture, and ideological silencing. The culture needs a truth bomb, and this track delivers. Download it now.
Yikes, a leaky refrigerator coil card.
Oh no.
But your future is bright with an American Home Shield warranty
To protect your covered home system.
Don't worry, be warranty.
Stay tuned to get a free automatic toilet bowl cleaner from Mermaid. Your sink stopper's broken, and fixing a drain is a pain. Introducing Mermaid Drain Magic, the instant solution to most broken drains. Just remove and replace. In seconds, you can fill and drain with a simple press of a button. Drain Magic makes replacing your old, broken, rusty, even missing sink stoppers fast and easy. Drain Magic's anti-clogging basket helps prevent clogs in your sink, catching hair, food, even jewelry. Made with brass and chrome and a silicone gasket, it creates a watertight seal. Order your Mermaid Drain Magic today for only $19.99 and get a Mermaid toilet bowl cleaner absolutely free. Drop it in the tank for up to 3 months of cleaning. But wait, this could be your last chance to get Drain Magic at this low price with free toilet bowl cleaner. There's a strict limit of 3, so order now.
Call 1-800-519-4303 or visit getdrainmagic.com. So call 1-800-519-4303 or visit getdrainmagic.com. Order now.
Your wallet is always in danger. Criminals can hack your information without you even knowing. Introducing Slim Mint, an ultra-thin RFID blocking wallet that keeps your cards and cash protected. Slim Mint uses the latest RFID blocking technology to prevent thieves from stealing your info. It's ergonomically designed to optimize space and keep your belongings organized. With the auto-locking Slim Mint, your cards and money stay securely in place. It has a built-in cash clip and a flexible outer band to fit your additional cards and cash. Call or click now and get Slim Mint for just $29.99. Order in the next 5 minutes and you'll get an instant $10 discount. So it's only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs, this may be your last chance to get Slim Mint at this low price. There's a strict limit of free Slim Mint wallets while supplies last. Don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-608-4172. Call or visit slimmintwallet.com. So call 1-800-608-4172 now.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you.
Call or scan for your free writer's guide today. The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now.
Call 800-714-8615.
It's not every day you fly alongside a nuclear reactor in the back of a jumbo jet. We took off from March Air Force Base in a C-17 Globemaster and brought it to Hill Air Force Base in Utah. An incredible day in U.S. history, the first time ever nuclear reactor transported by airplane. Check this out. I've got great stuff for you. And we have Peter Schweitzer, and I got more on the ground. Like I said before, it's not every day you got a nuclear reactor on board with you on your jet. We're on a C-17 from March Air Force Base on our way to Hill Air Force Base in Utah, where we'll be delivering this incredible nuclear reactor. It's a high temperature gas reactor, otherwise known as an HTGR. And as per Trump's executive order for strategic energy dominance, this is going to be a game changer for the United States, both to supply power in like 1, 2, 3, 5 megawatt capacities, as opposed to a big nuclear power plant, which is 300 to 900 megawatts on average. This is a total game changer. These will be able to power AI data centers, industry across America, and we're bringing it to the San Rafael, Utah testing labs right now after we land at Hill Air Force Base in just about a half an hour. This is about as high-tech as it gets, in partnership with Valor Atomics, this incredible company with young leadership, and we're on board with the media here with Secretary of Energy Chris Wright and Undersecretary of War Mike Duffy. An incredible day in American history here. I'm David Zere from Real America's Voice News.
Secretary Wright, how are you, sir? David Zere, Real America's Voice News. How far ahead are ahead of other countries in this technology? And also, how did we get here so quickly after Trump's executive orders, after years of not creating your reactors?
Well, I think it's a great testament to American entrepreneurship. Private capital has flown in to support a whole bunch of new reactor development companies. This technology is all funded by private industry, but it's just not been able to get off the ground without the government getting out of the way, without the government doing some enabling actions to allow fuel fabrication here and uranium enrichment here, and a more sensible regulatory regime, and of course state leadership. Yeah. It's pro-business development, and you'll do their own regulations. So I think a lot of things have come together, but this industry that hasn't done much for 4 decades is going to move rapidly in the coming.
Other countries on our heels?
They're the biggest developers of nuclear reactors around the world over the last 23 years have been China and Russia. Think about that. If you're a country getting new nuclear technology recently, you get it from China or Russia. We need a dramatic pivot. So the main purveyor of nuclear technology around the world is the United States. That's what the world wants overseas. And people would much rather be in partnership with the United States. They just haven't been there. Now we're there.
Secretary, who's provided fuel and how will the waste be addressed?
So the Department of Energy is providing the fuel for some of these early reactor deployments, including the one behind me. Waste disposal has been a problem the United States hasn't solved, but this year we are working in a program to completely change the game as far as having nuclear waste disposal sites. Instead of imposing it on one location, we have an open process going on right now to see who wants to host a nuclear innovation campus. It'll do all sorts of things, from reprocessing to fuel fabrication to enrichment to nuclear reactors to permanent disposal of the waste that remains after reprocessing. And I'll tell you, Utah has great interest in that program and is certainly one of the players we're in dialogues about.
Will the fuel be transporting something? The nuclear fuel be transported?
For this project? The nuclear fuel for this project is coming from the Nevada National Security Site. So this is fuel from the NNSA, and they'll be transported by them to our site in San Rico.
So became some efforts that are worried about there are maybe some safety concerns because the NRC is not involved in this process from the very beginning until the end. So how are you mitigating some of those safety concerns?
Yeah, I think part of President Trump's regulations is to just, again, turn the focus to safety, a little bit less on bureaucracy, but the NRC is involved all along the way. We have separate regulatory authorities for nuclear safety within the Department of Energy. So these reactors will be licensed under Department of Energy activities. It's very carefully done, very thoughtfully done, and the issuance for operations will be right before the reactors go critical. The NRC will be with us all along the way, which also helps the next step for these reactors for commercial power development to sell electricity and long-term deployment. That'll be all done by the NRC. But we are working together on this stuff. But they're an independent, separate agency, but this is cooperation.
Mr. Secretary, in regards to nuclear, last week the president also issued an executive order in wanting more coal to be used at military bases as a source of energy. For that remark in terms of what he's focused on, how does that differ with the ways that you're focusing on nuclear energy, but at the same time also wanting to focus on coal as well?
Oh, wow, we want all energy that's affordable, reliable, and secure. We've had a huge crisis in electricity in that we've had rising electricity prices and not rising production of electricity. Quite the opposite of what we've seen in oil and natural gas. We need to get rising electricity production, downward pressure on prices. In that storm that I mentioned in there, coal ramped up 24% the output of its production during that storm. In fact, it was second only to natural gas in electricity generation during that storm. President Trump wants to see all affordable, reliable, secure energy sources grow. Nuclear, coal, natural gas, oil, geothermal, whatever it is that can deliver affordable, reliable, secure energy.
You just give us a little bit of an idea of the scale of what exactly, how much power will this generate reactor do here? Just a general scale, how much we can power, like can it go, is it just mainly only to use for military bases? Can it be expanded to civilian efforts?
So I can speak for that. So this reactor here is a 5 megawatt electric reactor. The first time we run it here in our test site in Orangeville, we're going to run it about 100 kilowatts thermal. It's going to peak to about 250 kilowatts thermal. This allows us to get a little bit of experience with the hardware, understand it well. But this reactor is built for 5 megawatts electric. That's enough to power about 5,000 homes. It's enough to power most military bases. We can cluster them together to do more. And then eventually we'll get to power commercial applications as well, like data centers, advanced manufacturing, metal refining as well.
Shift between for energy will enhance energy security for civilian infrastructure.
Absolutely. Department of War has been a great partner in innovation. They have also had programs and funding to drive the development of nuclear power, particularly at a smaller scale and a mobile scale. You're at a remote highland or a distant base or whatever. Right now, those are all powered by diesel generators. You've got to deliver diesel continually to those locations. So the Department of War is saying, hey, we got to have a base. If we can't resupply, has affordable, reliable, secure energy going there, those demands, those desires they have, that's ultimately develops a better nuclear reactor technology, helps build scale, which will drive down costs, and those same technologies that'll power reactors in remote military operations, they'll power small towns in Alaska, remote mines in locations, and ultimately they'll be coupled together and power data centers and factories. It is a partnership.
Mr. Secretary, you mentioned three. When do you expect actual power to be delivered?
So that we'll have, we believe, multiple reactors critical by July 4th. I'm incredibly proud of that. That is Trump speed. 15 months after a declaration, we're going to have reactors running. They will then go through NRC licensing and siting, but soon after, you will see commercial power. In fact, I'll throw it to Isaiah. He was one of our most aggressive developers of technology. Isaiah, what do you sell in power?
We hope to sell some experimental power next year. So we achieved criticality last year, November, in Project Nova. We built a small nuclear core, but nuclear fuel it took it critical in partnership with Los Alamos National Laboratory at the NNSS. The goal for this reactor standing behind us here is not only to go critical by July 4th, but actually to make a small amount of thermal power, about 100 kilowatts, and then by the end of this year to add power conversion to that and make a small amount of electricity. So next year, we would like to sell that power on an experimental basis and be fully commercial in 2028. That's currently our goal. And Secretary Wright, the administration, and Governor Carse are helping us do that at a safe way, but at a pace that actually makes sense to solve the needs of the American people in front of us.
Secretary Wright, there's 3 new reactors that are supposed to go first critical test by July 4th. This is a gas-cooled. What are the other 2 type technologies being used?
That's a good question. There's 10 that are in the program. I don't know who the first 3 are going to be. I'm not sure that there's any other gas-cooled reactors. You know, there's a liquid sodium reactors that are early on. There's water-cooled reactors. So all different technologies, which is also the great thing about America. We don't have the one state program. We have a lot of different reactors, and we're going to drive the pace of innovation to find the right solutions for the right applications.
Yeah, one follow-up. One of the uses is maritime propulsion. But anything else, Secretary Duffy, that the military is looking at using this power for?
Well, I think, as I mentioned in remarks, it's critical that we not allow energy to be on the critical path for us to accelerate and rebuild the military, whether it comes to theater operational energy, powering our installations at bases and providing resilience to guard against any kind of crisis or extreme conditions that might impact the readiness of our force. And so I think this partnership with energy, as I think Secretary Wright said it absolutely correctly, this partnership allows us to leverage the strengths of both of our departments, make investments in advanced technology that we can all benefit from.
How long does the fuel last in these HTGRs?
So this reactor will be refueled approximately every 18 months. It can take different fuel configurations depending on the enrichment level, but this is one of the massive benefits of putting a nuclear reactor down for resilient infrastructure rather than a diesel generator. Personally, I'm actually a huge fan of oil and gas, a huge fan of the coal industry. They've powered our world for over 200 years, and they're an extremely important part of our society. But the benefit of nuclear is that you have a lot less logistics. When you have a forward operating base, you have to continuously drive fuel to that base or fly fuel to that base any way that you can. And the nuclear reactor has the advantage that it can run for about 18 months without having to refuel. And when you do refuel it, it's much, much smaller volumes of fuel. So that's our target here.
We'll be right back with more Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shop. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
Guys, if you plan to retire in the next 20 years, or if you've already retired, I have a message for you that you need to hear. Central banks, BRIC nations, and our allies are pumping trillions of dollars back into America, but every dollar they send could make your savings worth less. Hi, I'm Donald Trump Jr., and I just want you to be prepared for the future. So protect your hard-earned savings with gold. A gold IRA from my trusted friends at the Birch Gold Group offers you the safety net of gold with the tax advantage status of a retirement account. To see how it's done, click the link below to get a free info kit on gold IRAs. This kit reveals why gold IRAs are exploding in popularity, so do it now. What do you have to lose? It's free and there's no obligation. Click the link below to get your free info kit from the Birch Gold Group.
Kevin paid off over $12,000 in credit card debt with the help of Consolidated Credit. They cut his interest rates and lowered his payments so he could pay off his debt fast. Call 800-596-8062 for a free consultation.
President Trump ended the nightmare for almost all January 6 defendants when he delivered on his promise to pardon those who suffered through our two-tiered system of justice. But there are still 12 January 6 defendants whose fights are far from over. These J6ers still face overwhelming legal battles. Scan the QR code now or visit j6support.com to help stand in the gap, push for pardons for these patriots. Many have lost their jobs, homes, and life savings due to prolonged incarceration, and even though they've had their sentences commuted, they still cannot vote, possess firearms, receive any military pensions and retirement benefits, obtain health care coverage for themselves and their families, or secure employment. Stand in the Gap is renewing our Justice Restoration Fund to advocate for full pardons for these patriots. Please visit j6support.com or scan the QR code to support our fight for justice for these January 6th defendants. Your gift today helps us partner with reputable attorneys and legal advisors to ensure they have a fair chance at winning their cases and having their rights restored. Please donate today to let these J6ers know that they are not forgotten. Scan the QR code or visit j6support.com to make a tax-deductible donation to our Justice Restoration Fund.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you.
Call or scan for your free writer's guide today.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching Breaking Point. I'm David Zere. I'm so honored to have our next guest with us. I've been a huge fan for so many years. You've all seen him. He is a best-selling author and investigative journalist, the top investigative journalist, Peter Schweizer. Welcome to the show.
Hey, great to be with you, David. Thanks so much for having me.
Anytime. I'm really honored you made the time for us. This book is incredible. I can't put it down. The Invisible Coup, how new American elites and foreign powers use immigration as a weapon, right? Tell us about why that subtitle is there.
Well, I think when we look at the immigration debate in America, it's largely been about how it affects wages, how it affects, crime on our streets, maybe how it affects our culture. But what this book is really about is immigration as a weapon. That is, foreign adversaries like China, Mexico, and the Muslim Brotherhood have weaponized immigration, and they're setting up and have set up radical political networks inside the United States that are designed to destabilize us and that are in effect doing that. And then there's the side of the American elites who are not conspiring with these people, but see the benefit of mass migration, the weaponization of mass migration for their own political benefit. So it's I think a new but important way of looking at immigration that has largely been ignored in the national conversation.
Yeah, I've been covering protests for many years, probably about 10 years, in the streets with Antifa, getting spit on. I was told I brought the disease, the blankets from Europe, according to Black Lives Matter. And there's a common thread. I just got back from Minneapolis 4 weeks ago. We have incredible work by Ben Berquam on the ground across the country in these protests. Common thread, indivisible twin cities. It's the protest du jour. It's not really about the issue. It's just about dismantling America, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so you have, a lot of the TV screens, we see sort of the 50-year-old white Minneapolis mom who's, blowing on her whistle. That's really, I think, the least threatening part of this. The threatening part of this are these foreign networks that are destabilizing our streets.
Yeah.
One of those is Mexico. People don't think of Mexico as a destabilizing force, but they actually are. And they see mass migration as a means by which they can exert sovereignty inside the United States. They have a structure of political operatives in this country. I name them in the book and describe them in the book.
Yeah.
And these operatives, in their meetings describe how their work is to, quote, organize the militancy inside the United States. So they're involved in organizing the riots in Los Angeles that we saw last year. They're involved in the Minneapolis riots. I would note that Mexico has a consulate in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Right.
They had one in Los Angeles, and consular officials are involved in some of this unrest. They're also injecting themselves into our politics. They're trying to manipulate our elections so they get people elected that are more favorable to Mexico. China, the same thing. You can look at a lot of things that China's doing with these affiliated groups and, of course, the Muslim organizations. So what's happening in Minneapolis is not just a Minnesota story or an American story. It's actually a global story of how these global actors are trying to destabilize our country.
Yes, and what was in a way, American generosity, maybe some political manipulation. Jimmy Carter, said, we got to open our hearts and open our arms in the Mariel boat lift. And Fidel opened his prisons and got rid of his opposition in one fell swoop. But what's going on today is more diabolical. Like we're talking about in your book, you talk about Scheinbaum's mentor, Obrador, the previous president of Mexico, who was open in 2021 saying that he supports the journey north into America by illegals, right?
Yeah, and they see this as an opportunity to reclaim territories that they lost from us in the 19th century, which when you first hear it is kind of fantastical, right? I mean, really, they you think of the Mexican government, they're corrupt, they're kind of hapless. But the fact of the matter is, there are dozens of quotes in the book from senior Mexican officials saying mass migration, the presence of tens of millions of Mexicans in the United States, is an opportunity for us to exert sovereignty in the United States. One of the ways they're doing this, by the way, I briefed the White House, I briefed people on Capitol Hill about this. Nobody knew about this. The fact that Mexico has, living in the United States, senators and congressmen that live full-time in the United States. Their job is to represent Mexicans living in the United States before the Mexican government. Massive intrusion in our sovereignty.
Yeah.
And they are creating, in a sense, a parallel structure. So their strategy is working, and there are all sorts of other things they're doing to chip away from our autonomy. So the bottom line is we need to understand how our enemies and neighbors and adversaries are viewing migration, not just think the way we think of migration is the way that everybody else does, because that is not the case.
Can we cut off remittances finally, where 10 to 20% of these countries live off American dollars sent back by illegals and other?
Yeah, you certainly could. I mean, in the case of Mexico, it's $60 billion a year. It's a vital part of their economy and an important component of it. So there is that economic component. But again, it's also political. I mean, they have had meetings in Mexican consulates where they discussed, I had the transcripts, I quote them in the book, where they discussed how they helped turn California from red to blue. They helped Arizona turn from red to blue, and now they're trying to turn the rest of the country from red to blue. This is not what foreign diplomats are supposed to be doing. Mexico has 53 consulates in the United States.
Yes.
To put that on scale, Great Britain and China have 6 and 7, respectively.
Wow.
So they have a massive presence. They are getting involved in our politics. They are fomenting a social unrest in our streets. We need to be shutting down a large number of these consulates.
Before I jump to China, you call it the Reconquista, right? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, this is the term they use. It's the reconquest of the American Southwest. We had the U.S.-Mexican War, after which Mexico sold to us large portions of the American Southwest. That is a scar that they still bear. And they see the repopulation of the American Southwest by Mexican migrants as an opportunity to reconquer or retake territories. There was in December of 2024, one of Scheinbaum's top aides wrote a report, I quoted in the book, where she writes, quote, there are 39.9 million Mexicans in the United States. We are retaking the territories that were stolen from us, end quote.
Amazing.
That's literally in a Mexican government report, and there are dozens of other quotes saying the same thing. So it's not me asserting it. This is what Mexican officials themselves are saying.
Okay, we have limited time. I could talk to you for hours about this stuff, but 2 questions. What you call the Manchurian population, 1 million registered Chinese voters in the United States live in China, and then I want to talk about their pilot program.
Yeah, so Mexico's created an industrial scale exploitation of birthright citizenship. This is the idea that supposedly the 14th Amendment means if your child is born in the United States, they're automatically granted citizenship. What China has done at the behest of the CCP is set up a large birth tourism industry where Chinese elites for the last 13, 14 years have been flying to the United States with their pregnant wives, giving birth. The child's granted citizenship. They fly back to China when the infant is able. That child is raised in China, but they're U.S. citizens. So that means they're going to have the right to vote. the right to donate to political campaigns, the right to apply for sensitive government jobs. It's a massive, massive vulnerability. And to put that in context, let's remember the 2016 election was settled by roughly 72,000 votes. So this is a massive, massive infiltration by China. They've encouraged it, they've exploited it, and we have been completely oblivious to it because our government does not keep any records on birth tourism in the United States.
Wow. Can you summarize in about 2 minutes this scheme to get thousands of Chinese to become pilots in the U.S., and who does that benefit?
Yeah, so flight schools. Remember in 9/11, the terrorists learned U.S. flight schools how to fly planes. They didn't want to learn how to land. We banned people from terrorist-sponsoring regions from coming to our flight schools.
Right.
But there are thousands of Chinese students coming on student visas, learning in our flight schools. It's all paid for by the Chinese government. The best of those pilots, when they go back to China, will end up flying for the Chinese Air Force, the Chinese People Liberation Army Air Force, and they will be squared off against our pilots. So we are literally right now training our enemies' pilots, giving them the skills they need to compete with our own aviators. It's terrible and it's suicidal, and I'm hoping that we're going to see some policy change there very quick.
In short order, how do we fight back?
There's a lot of proposals at the end of the book. I've briefed President Trump, the Treasury Secretary, and the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, in the Oval Office before the book came out. I briefed senior officials in the Senate. I'll be testifying before the Senate on some of my findings. I'm expecting we're going to see action. There are specific things we can do, but it begins with awareness, realizing that we're dealing with weaponized immigration. We're not just dealing with what we traditionally think of as immigration.
Everybody, you got to go out and get this book, The Invisible Coup. New American elites and foreign powers use immigration as a weapon. It's a must-read. It's a must-read. We have to protect our country. Peter Schweitzer, the president of Government Accountability Institute. I love your organization. Where can people follow you?
You can follow me at Peter Schweitzer on Twitter, or you can go to thedrilldown.com, which is my podcast, or you can go to peterschweitzer.com to keep up with my media appearances, etc.
All right. Thanks for all your hard work, and I hope to catch up with you soon, and I really appreciate you coming on today.
I enjoyed it very much. Thanks for having me.
Great, Peter. I want to thank everybody for watching Breaking Point. We've got so many exciting things. It's been an incredible 4 or 5 weeks between Minneapolis and with Trump and Iowa, the U.S. Space Command in Florida, Fort Bragg, which was renamed from Fort Liberty, thank God. And Fort Bragg, a meeting with the Lieutenant General, 18th Airborne Commander, traveling with Pete Hegseth. We got a lot of great stuff ahead for you on Breaking Point. Thanks so much for watching.
Ooh, fun.
Yikes. The leaky refrigerator coil card.
Is that bad?
Oh, death!
Death?
Of an AC fan motor.
Oh, no.
But your future is bright with an American Home Shield warranty to protect your covered appliances and home systems. Are there bees behind me?
My bees escaped.
Phil, we talked about this. American Home Shield. Don't worry, bee warranty.
Water, nature's ultimate cleaner. We drink it, we bathe in it. Think water, think steam, think clean. Now harness the power of water with the H2O X5 5-in-1 steam cleaning system.
I'm so impressed with the X5.
It's an all-in-one product, so I can use it throughout my entire house.
It's cleaning, it's sanitizing, there's no chemicals in it. It's just steam.
This is unbelievable. There is no more odor.
5 minutes, I'm done. Look at that, it's amazing.
If you're ready to step into an effective, economical, and eco-safe world of cleaning, look no further than the H2O X5. Using just the power of superheated water, the X5 Super Hot Steam cleans and kills up to 99% of germs, viruses, and bacteria. You could spend over $500 to purchase the products that the X5 5-in-1 Miracle replaces. But through this special TV offer, you won't spend $400, $300, or even $200. Order your H2O X5 steam cleaning system, a $500 value, for just 4 easy payments of $43. you'll get the X5 steam mop with microfiber pad, the carpet glider, the handheld scrubber, the window glass and mirror attachment, and the Garment and upholstery bonnet. It's a complete 10-piece system, all this for just 4 easy payments of $43. But it gets even better. Order now and we'll upgrade your X5 package. We'll add a 6th mode with a dusting and polishing wand. Valued at over $30, this extra bonus attachment makes your H2O X5 the H2O X6. That means your 10-piece system becomes a 12-piece system at no extra cost to you. If after 30 days you're not absolutely delighted, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price. Don't wait. Now's your chance to own the X5 for just 4 easy payments, and we'll make the first payment for you. You get the X5 incredible 5-in-1 lightweight, powerful 12-piece steam cleaning system, a $500 value, all for just 3 easy payments of $43. This offer can't last forever, so call or click right now.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath & Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie-cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now.
Call 800-714-8615.
You're watching Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News. I got to tell you what a journey we had last Sunday flying with the Department of Energy, Secretary of Energy, and the Undersecretary of War, Mike Duffy. I've got some great footage for you here. We flew out of Andrews Air Force Base, wheels up at 0600, and we landed at March Air Force Base in California outside of Los Angeles, where we picked up a Valor Atomics high-temperature, gas-cooled nuclear reactor. It was loaded on a C-17 Globemaster, and just an incredible piece of equipment, transporting our troops and equipment all over the world. And this reactor is the size of about a semi, and it was loaded in the back. I think parts of it were on 2 other C-17s as well, but we flew to Hill Air Force Base with the Energy Secretary and the Undersecretary of War, Mike Duffy, to Utah. And we landed there, and that was going to be transported after we landed over to the San Rafael testing lab. It's the first time in history a nuclear reactor was transported by plane. It's a big shift in American policy for Trump's executive orders on strategic energy dominance and national security interests. We can operate bases out on these things. They're 5-megawatt reactors. They can be chained together, and it's really just an incredible thing. And they can operate off the grid. So check out my press gaggle I had with these guys.
Good morning. My name is Max Uckerpina. I'm the head of projects here at Valor Atomics, overseeing our warfighter operations. We wanted to extend our sincere gratitude to our partners at the Department of Energy and the Department of War, especially Undersecretary Michael Duffy and Secretary Chris Wright, for advancing American energy dominance in real time. Operation Windlord embodies President Trump's bold vision, reigniting our commitment to innovation, security, and freedom through American industrial power. None of this is possible without the President's leadership. We are profoundly grateful. Traditional nuclear reactors are large, complex, expensive, requiring years to build and deploy. Because of this, our military has not utilized nuclear energy effectively for baseload power. In contrast, standard fuel generators are quick to install, but require never-ending fuel supply that drive costs, logistics, and deadly risks to our brave warfighters. Today, aligned with President Trump's nuclear renaissance executive orders, we demonstrate a breakthrough of American ingenuity. The Valor Atomics Ward Reactor, a rapidly deployable, containerized nuclear system powered on in days, not years. It eliminates fuel supply vulnerabilities for baseload power, ending perilous convoys to installations, and providing safe, reliable, scalable energy for warfighters projecting American power worldwide. Soon, the Department of War can deploy to every single war zone, humanitarian mission, or remote installation needing mission-critical power, safeguarding troops and deterring adversaries. Moreover, these scalable units will fortify domestic bases with secure power insulated from an aging electrical grid. With reactors operated by Valor Atomics and licensed by the Department of Energy, this will soon be a reality.
It's great to be here on the West Coast representing the Department of War and participate in this truly historic event. I want to start by thanking President Trump and Secretary Hegseth for the leadership that they bring to the Department of War and the government at large to really drive government and industry to move fast and create opportunity for innovative things like our event here today. I also want to thank the organizations and leaders who made today possible, including our air crews and our hosts here at March Air Reserve Base. The Department of War is excited to be supporting this airlift in collaboration with our colleagues at the Department of Energy, including the airlift capability featuring the C-17 behind me on the runway and the associated ground support to safely transport this unfueled reactor module for testing and evaluation purposes.
One of President Trump's core missions when he assumed the presidency was to unleash American energy dominance. He recognized that more energy made America stronger economically, job opportunities in our country, stronger militarily, better able to project power abroad. He led this effort with 4 large executive orders to move all the things out of the way that had strangled American energy ingenuity. We'd had years of energy subtraction policies that directed our industries overseas and raised energy prices for Americans who were rightfully frustrated by that. One of President Trump's boldest proclamations was that this is America. We can build things, we can innovate, we can do things in this country. And in fact, he set out a very bold goal. This is just 12 months ago. He said by the 250th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence, meaning July 4 of this year, we're going to have multiple nuclear reactors critical. People thought that was crazy. 15 months away. We built 2 reactors in 40 or 50 years, yet we're going to have 3 reactors critical by July 4. Well, I think you can see standing behind me, President Trump was serious, and the United States entrepreneurs, the United States military are standing up to make it happen. The Department of Energy that I run has done all sorts of efforts in enrichment and fuel fabrication and changing regulations and rules to unleash American ingenuity. Today is history. A multi-megawatt next-generation nuclear power plant is loaded in the C-17 behind us. We're going to fly it to Utah today, and it will be critical, running all of its nuclear systems by July 4 of this year. God bless President Trump's leadership. God bless the United States military and Department of Energy. And God bless the United States of America.
We're on the ground at Hill Air Force Base, just outside of Salt Lake City in Utah. Secretary of Energy Chris Wright, how are you, sir?
Thrilled. Pretty exciting day today.
Very exciting. Not every day you get to fly with a nuclear reactor on your flight.
That's the first time I've been on a military transport plane together with a 5-megawatt nuclear reactor.
It's the first time in history we've transported a nuclear reactor by plane, right?
Yes, indeed. This is the transformative leadership of President Trump. For 20 years, I've heard people, the nuclear renaissance just about to come. President Trump gets in office, has bold executive orders, says get to work, and here we are flying a reactor barely 12 months later out of California, which is kind of funny, an anti-energy state, landing in Utah where it'll be critical in a couple months.
Yeah, in the San Rafael labs here, if it passed testing, you guys are saying that maybe within 18 months you could have one running, right?
Yes, well, we'll have these reactors critical before July 4th. But yes, electricity generation on the American grid, 18 months is an aggressive goal. But certainly in the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to have new electrons on the grid from next generation nuclear power plants.
I'm in New York, in the New England area, right? Mid-Atlantic states. We're paying $4 a gallon for home heating oil right now. How much of a burden would this take off if we were able to supplement?
Oh, it would huge. And New York State and all of New England has just needlessly suffered from very high energy prices. As you said, burning fuel oil, something phased out most everywhere else decades ago. Should be burning natural gas, getting your electricity from nuclear, keeping those coal plants alive. We can have much lower energy prices and much stronger industries.
Yeah, there's so many exciting things going on with the administration. Getting stuff at speed and scale seems to be the common theme, right?
It is. Look, as a career entrepreneur, I always thought I never want to go into government. They're slow and bureaucratic. With President Trump, it is innovative and it is fast, fast, fast.
So the high temperature gas reactors are SMRs, but not all SMRs are high temperature gas cooled reactors, right?
Exactly. The high temperature gas cooling is an idea that you can run it at a particularly high temperature and use it not just for generating electricity, but also for industrial processes to make steel or plastics or fertilizer or chemicals where you need high temperature process heat. These reactors can run at a particularly high temperature.
Just a couple more quick questions. Are we concerned about the helium supply at all? Because I know that's one of the gases used to cool these things, right?
It is. What's good about the helium in these reactors is this closed loop. You're not actually consuming helium. You're just circulating helium in very sealed loops. So, yes, of course, we got to expand our helium supply to push prices down, but I don't think it's a major factor for these reactors.
And, you know, federal lands, drilling, natural gas, rare earth minerals. Trump was expediting that permit process as well, right? Getting permits down from 24 months to just a few months. Is that what's happening?
Dramatically different environment. Absolutely. More permits for drilling oil and natural gas wells were issued in the first year of the Trump administration than in all 4 years of the Biden administration.
All right. Historic day. We're with Undersecretary of War Mike Duffy. We got the C-17 behind us with a 5-megawatt nuclear reactor on board. And thank you, Secretary Chris Wright, Secretary of Energy. Really appreciate your time.
You bet. Glad to be with you today.
Good afternoon. Hello. And thank you for your warm welcome. The President and I are grateful to be with you, to honor the passion you share through unmatched bravery, resilience, and service to our great nation. Thank you for defending our freedom. It is with immense pleasure for me to address the Fort Bragg and Pope Army Airfield community today. To our great armed forces of the United States stationed all over the world, I have a nostalgia-filled message. Happy Valentine's Day. It is my distinct honor to introduce your Commander-in-Chief, our leader who maintains a mission of peace through strength, President Donald J. Trump.
And I'm thrilled to be back on one of the greatest and most celebrated military bases in the history of the world, Fort Bragg. We have your name back. We got your name back from the radical left. The radical left is not happy about it.
I want to thank everybody for joining the RAF family and watching Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News. See you next time.
Kevin paid off over $12,000 in credit card debt with the help of Consolidated Credit. They cut his interest rates and lowered his payments so he could pay off his debt fast. Call 800-596-8062 for a free consultation.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you.
Call or scan for your free writer's guide today.
Don't you hate that dirty old hose? It kinks, splits, and it always leaks. And it's way too heavy to carry around. It's time to get the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead. Just turn on the water and watch it grow to a full-size hose. It stretches and expands like a rubber band. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the new Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees. Just connect to the spigot and watch it pivot. And when you turn off the water, away it goes, shrinking back to a pocket-size hose. And it makes it easy to carry and put away. Copperhead. It's the hose that grows and pivots, flexes, and sprays. It puts itself away for another day. The Pocket Hose is so unique and so innovative, it was awarded over 100 patents. Call or go online now to get the super light 25-foot Pocket Hose Copperhead today for only $39.99. But wait, order right now and you'll receive an instant $10 discount. So it's only $29.99. And it gets better. Order right now and get our copper spray nozzle with our exclusive thumb drive free. Simply use your thumb to turn it on or off. And with 10 unique patterns, you'll